In news this morning, President Biden will survey the devastation in North and South Carolina as rescuers continue their search for anyone still unaccounted for since Hurricane Helene caused catastrophic damage across the southeast. Death toll is at least 166. Vice President Kamala Harris will be neighboring Georgia today. Helene was one of the deadliest storms in the recent U.S. history, knocked down power and cell service now for millions. More than 1.5 million people are still in the dark in Carolinas and Georgia. In Augusta, Georgia, people waited in line for more than 3 hours just to try to get water from one of the 5 centers set up to serve more than 200,000 people.
These people aren't prepared for hurricanes. It's bad enough when it hits Florida, and they know it's coming, right? If you're a beach community in Florida, if you're on the Gulf, you know there's a great chance it's going to turn towards you. New Orleans knows now. Gulfport, Mississippi knows now. All of these different places. When it jumps up and hits South Carolina and starts destroying stuff from the interior as it goes through, you're not ready for this kind of business, and you really do. It's not crazy. We can argue all you want climate change because a bunch of politicians made it about the way they vote. We're the ones getting punished. All those poor bastards all through the Southeast are getting just jammed. So forget about the politic part. Make sure you got water. Make sure you have a generator. Make sure that you have some food. Make sure you understand that storms happen, and you should probably pay attention to it. Don't make it about an electric car or not an electric car. Make it about taking care of your family.
That, obviously, being the number one priority. I didn't think about it till it was mentioned yesterday. And because, it matters. People aren't going to be able to vote. All these people
they'll get there by November 6th. Absolutely. They'll get that.
I hope so.
Yeah,
there was talk about being able to find people, get what they need, their information. Like, what if they have no ID, no nothing?
No, you're right. If they don't have ID, you're 100% right. That would stop you.
The FBI has agreed to pay more than $22 million to settle a class action lawsuit alleging female recruits were singled out for dismissal in training and routinely harassed by instructors with sexually charged comments about their breast size, false allegations of infidelity, and the need to take contraception to, quote, control their moods. The payout to 34 women dismissed from the FBI's training academy in Quantico, still subject to approval by a federal judge, would rank among the biggest lawsuit settlements in the history of the Bureau. One of the women said that she was admonished to smile more and subjected to repeated sexual advances. Another said that an instructor leered at her, stared at her chest, quote, sometimes while licking his lips.
Jesus Christ, man.
The FBI did not...
I don't know what I said. That's so over the top. I'm like, what? Really?
You're just a woman with a small brain, with a brain a third the size of us. It's science.
You're on your own, Kyle.
You're a smelly pirate hooker. Why don't you go back to your home on Whore Island?
I haven't taken my meds yet. That's at 8 o'clock, Kyle, to control my mood.
I was just saying that. You need to get your contraceptives.
Oh, boy. If you're going to go out big. A retired British priest died after a drug-fueled sex romp with a Belgian colleague while en route on a trip to be near Pope Francis.
Get something, dude. Do you think it's weird, though, that we deny people their sexuality and this is how it ends up? They're going on their Pope trip.
Yep.
And then he meets up with a Belgian cohort who's also of the faith. And then he's like, I got a bag full of whatever. And he's like, let's get it on.
This story keeps going, but at least I don't see anyone underage involved in it, which we pointed out before. The dead priest, his name was Father Andrew Wagstaff, 69 years old. He spent last Thursday night with the unidentified 60-year-old Belgian priest at his rectory for St. Joseph's Church. According to the authorities, it appears the two men had used ecstasy and poppers together and had sex. The retired UK priest became unwell, and his lover, only identified as Pastor B, called emergency services just after midnight. But the retired clergyman could not be resuscitated. By the way, they had gone back to Belgium last week to coincide with Pope Francis's 4-day visit.
Yeah, and listen, again, I really don't have a problem with this story.
And he did retire last April.
No, I don't care about that either. So it's two adults. If you want to get high and get up in each other's rectory, that's your problem. or your joy. I don't care either way. Like, hey, I go, oh, that's like you said, it's nice. No kid was involved. Yep. Nobody was raped. Nobody was against their will. All right. Maybe you ought to let people love each other and see if they can still find God.
And finally, a Phoenix woman who prosecutors say was doing dental procedures out of her home has pled guilty to practicing without an Arizona license.
No.
Geraldine Getz was sentenced to 12 months of supervised probation and must also pay restitution if any victims come forward. Court records allege that the 33-year-old portrayed herself as a dentist on Instagram and Facebook, advertising $100 teeth cleanings and $10 x-rays. The unlicensed procedures took place between January 1st, 2023 through June 17th of this year. Investigators said that she exclusively looked for Latinos, and she found patients through her job in construction. They say a complaint came in with her saying that she practiced dentistry without the license and forwarded the information to the Attorney General's office.
Does it say if she ever had any ability, like did she ever go to school?
Yep. A search warrant of her home turned up a dental chair, numbing medication, and an x-ray machine. Investigators also found 5 human teeth in the trash. Getz's attorney said that she graduated from dental school at Columbia and practiced in clinics there. Quote, so she was certainly confident in her abilities, though she recognizes that she should not have been practicing in the United States.
So she was a janky dentist, but at least she wasn't some just psychopath crawling up on your chest with a pair of rusty pliers yanking your molars out.
No.
God damn, man. My mom, we were poor enough, and listen, I don't know what's wrong with my mom, maybe because she was raised in England, but she would go to the dental school. You know, there's one here in Kansas City, and that, God forbid, you would brush your... This is how we grew up. If you didn't brush your teeth super good, you might end up at the dental school. Mm-hmm. So it was more, the dentist was a threat. The dentist was like, get it done. Or, because my mom would come back with her face all swollen. She was getting her teeth done.
Yeah.
Lack of fluoride and all. And she was, it was horrific. And she had horrified us with tales of, like, students, like, pushing her head back in the chair and, like, ripping at her teeth because it cost you $10 or whatever at the time to get your tooth pulled.
I know I've mentioned it to you before, but I can't remember in my mind. Obviously, I was under 18, but as a kid, we were the same way. We were poor enough that we went somewhere downtown, and we went into a room where, imagine, I grew up in a body shop, so I'm looking at this. All the dental instruments were in a Sears Craftsman tool chest.
Oh.
And I'm not kidding.
F off.
No, and that's the one part I always remember because I'm like, no, that's not right.
Did your mom take you or your dad?
No, my mom. Nothing ever happened.
You never asked her?
I never asked her again, but it's always stayed in the back of my mind. I'm like, where would I have been? Because it seemed like it was in an office. It wasn't in somebody's garage.
You should ask her.
I should, because I've always wondered about it. And that one image just being in that room burned in my brain.
Yeah, the worst tooth thing ever. My brother came home, and my dad, I've told you about this, like, you know how it was when you got sick. Your dad was mad because if you had to pay a deductible.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so you better be sick, you better be bleeding, you better be dying, you better need stitches, you better have a broken bone, because if you got to go pay the goddamn deductible, there better be some work to be done. Mm-hmm. My brother comes home, and I remember looking at him, and he was missing his tooth, his front tooth. Mm-hmm. His buddy and him had gotten into a BB gun fight and got his front tooth shot out. Now, that's bad enough until I see my dad, he has this weird reaction because he's got his thumb on the bottom of my brother's face, like, and he's kind of looking at it, and it's a little rough. But then you could see him just go like this. He's like, Ivy, we have to go. Which time we have to get it? And we had to pay for an emergency dentist on a weekend.
So it's something.
And then he's like, keep your mouth shut. And what I found out was the goddamn nerve was still hanging straight out of his gums. The tooth part got knocked out, and there was like the thread that looked like white thread. Because I remember seeing it as a little kid, and he was like, "It's gonna." He was trying to tell my mom without scaring my brother that feeling's gonna come back, and it's gonna be like his head explodes. Like it's literally was a raw nerve hanging from the top of my brother's where your tooth would be, and horrible. He had to go have that immediately handled, man. But it was super weird seeing your dad get shook. Like he knew, Jesus Christ, this is going to be terrible, man.
I'm Nycki Pace for the Johnny Dare Morning Show on 98.9 The Rock.
This is the Johnny Dare Morning Show.
The Johnny Dare Morning Show.